The Ukrainian church was vandalized. Not 100% sure of the motivation here, but there is suspect of it being linked with the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The letter Z was spray painted in 3 locations, and it is a symbol of support for the Russian invasion. So,
okay,
we've been following
this is on
this.
the Ukrainian church.
That's right. Yeah, the Father Peter Bodnar is the church's pastor,
okay,
and he said that his parishioners were devastated. So obviously, this does mean a lot for the people who go to that church, like participate in that church. Whether it was meant that way, obviously, I don't think we'll be able to confirm that, but it seems like pretty likely that was what was intended.
So the symbol means...
It isn't just random graffiti.
No, but wasn't there a rally on Notre Dame?
There was.
In support? Was that on
we covered
Sunday?
That. Yeah.
We already talked about that. But they're saying this, they were thinking that this particular graffiti on the church was as a result of that. It was basically, somebody saying, because you guys are celebrating, Ukraine and showing their support, that they were doing this in opposition of that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they discovered these painted Zs over commemorative plaques outside of the building.
Yep.
They reported it to the police on Monday morning, and when the police received the call regarding a hate bias incident involving mischief at a local church. So this is pretty nearby where the demonstration was. The church is really close to downtown.
Yep.
It's sad.
It is, for sure.
It's
Definitely.
sad that it's also sad that it has such an effect on people, because if it's just a building, but if it symbolizes something worse, it can mean a lot more. And what Father Peter Bodnar said is this is a very profound statement of hatred. Here in Canada and in Sudbury, that should have no place.
For sure.
He said 30% of his parishioners have friends and family in Ukraine who have been affected by the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. So
interesting.
It's, this is almost like a follow-up on previous coverage we've done. He said the church does have security cameras, but they were out of commission at the time.
And this story is found on Sudbury.com. I think you can find...
There's a couple of sites that had it. I'm looking at the CBC version.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was looking at the Sudbury.com one.
Yeah. Another quote from Bodnar. He said if he had a chance to speak with the people responsible, he would tell them it's a choice to choose hate or love.
Okay.
He added that despite the incident, the church has received support from all faiths in the region, hosted an interfaith prayer ceremony for the people of Ukraine. That was now 2 Sundays ago.
Okay.
That they had the interfaith prayer. I don't know, just all around this seems like sad news. Seems like something you'd want to mention, in your day-to-day conversations. Say
For sure.
That's sad news.
Yep.
Since February 24th, when Russia invaded Ukraine, this kind of Z symbol has been seen a few times, and it's been on Russian tanks and other things. So it's, I think it's pretty obvious that this was meant in that way.
Okay, so you pretty much think it was...
I've come to my conclusion.
Yeah, and again, we don't really know. The investigation is going on, and people do things for different reasons. And I would hope it's not like a joke that someone would
Exactly.
play. I think back to my juvenile days when I would do different
Stupid
things.
Yep.
And I would think, oh yeah, let's do this as a joke. You know what I mean? And
Same here.
Back in the day, it wasn't looked at as, it wouldn't make the news and be as, impactful as it is today. People are a lot more sensitive, and it means a lot more today. So, and along those lines, I think, there are some federal, discussions about new laws that have something to do with, this type of thing. Yeah. And we need to watch out for this because I don't know how this is going to impact us. So, we talked a
Well,
little bit before the show. Okay,
before we get to the bigger issue,
Yeah.
I want to point out, I mean, we have to be measured in everything.
Yeah.
Like, we have to be, like, I don't want to go too extreme with the example, but, like, when something happens to your family or your child, you're going to be much more aware of that thing. So, if, someone says
Sure.
something insensitive to you, it doesn't necessarily mean that they hate you.
No.
In this case, I think it's obvious that this was meant as to be offensive. If the Z is representing what I think it is,
Okay.
it was meant to be offensive. Does that mean it should ruin your life? Probably not. I mean, that gives them exactly what they want in a way. Like, if it affects you deeply, I think it gives, like, rebel rousers exactly what they want. Like, it gets a rise out of you. It's almost like when you were a kid, you were told, like, when you're being bullied, just act like it doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
Because what does that do? It takes their power away from them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mentioned this off air, but, thousands of people, they say thousands of people, like 30% of the Ukrainian parish has had family or friends that have been affected by the conflict.
Yeah.
Affected is kind of a euphemism.
For sure.
Some people have died.
Yeah.
Their homes have been destroyed. There's many, many refugees now. So, yeah, if you're representing that with the graffiti Z, that's terrible. They're expressing support for terrible things.
Yeah.
But having graffiti on a building, is that going to, like, ruin your life?
No.
I don't think it should ruin your life.
And that's the
I
thing.
think we should support it. I think we should point out how terrible it is, but I don't think it should
It's a deep issue. There's a war going on.
Sure.
There's a country who just attacked another country, but there's many, there's people. I feel bad for some of my Russian friends as well, right? Because they've been demonized. Technically, did they do anything wrong? Is just from being from Russia, really? Have they? But they see all of our communities just supporting one side.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I know a lot of people might, feel that. Just hearing that statement sounds harsh, right?
Yeah.
But it's true. The media is only supporting one side, and rightfully so, probably, because do I know all the information on it? No. Have I been there? Have I seen? Do I know every single reason for what's going on? I don't. So, but all we see is people. We have a lot of people who've come to this country that are good people on both sides.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's an important note too.
And one side is getting all the support, and then what happens is the people here who don't really know much about anything, they just go, Ukrainians good, Russians bad. And they just think like that. Like
Yeah,
you
there's
were
nothing
thinking,
bad about
people
necessarily
think like
being Russian.
People thinking good, better, best. They just think that way. They don't think
Black and white.
Yeah, they don't, or they don't
Black,
think
white, and
in between all that there's a thousand different things because it's too hard to think.
Like, if you didn't support the Vietnam War, were you anti-Vietnam?
No. There could be many reasons why you weren't against.
You could be
that you were against the
anti-war
war.
and
Exactly.
still want everyone to,
For sure. So again,
do well.
If this happened to the church I go to, we might not have gone to the press, let's say. We might have just cleaned it off.
But if someone gets in your face with a microphone, you might say similar things.
Well, that's what I mean. You don't know,
I'm
right?
playing both sides.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to say.
So again, this is ups the ante. I'm sure there's people that are, passionate about it. If I'm from a certain country and I know not all the information is getting out or whatever, and then how do you think wars have happened in the past?
Sure.
A lot of miscommunication going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Mischief goes a long way.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
to me, this is an act of mischief.
And I don't want the media to accelerate some of this passion between two sides and make it become a local thing even, because it doesn't need to be that. We don't need to
Let's not make it
act
about
in
us.
those ways.
Let's
exactly.
Not,
the war is over
overwhelming.
there,
Yeah.
and we here are able to communicate a lot better so it doesn't result
Sure.
In the same type of thing. I would hope that's what we would be able to do.
Yeah, I really hope that it doesn't turn into like a hot conflict.
Exactly.
I mean, so far, and we're not really covering the Ukraine conflict. This just happens to be one of the Sudbury
That's right.
local stories. But the U.S. and the UN, actually, NATO, has tried to stay out of it so far. They've tried to stay out of the conflict. That's kind of the attitude I've tried to take, and people might really dislike that. But I remember it was really popular to post like the Ukrainian flag on like social media, say I stand with Ukraine, and I do. I stand with everyone. I stand with every people that are suffering.
Yeah.
But again, like we've acknowledged, we read the news, we're up to date. I still don't feel like we're in a position to call moral shots.
No,
like
and
we're
no
not.
one is.
We're not going to be able to referee it.
No one is.
Like neither of us have a background in that.
And how many people put the Ukrainian flag and showed their support on Facebook or other social media because they understood all of the semantics going on with the war?
Very few. Yeah.
I would say less than 1% would have done that, right? They just did that because why? Why do you think many people...
Well, it's a zeitgeist, I think. It's
so explain that. What exactly does that mean?
Like when you get swept up in a movement.
It's a movement.
But
right?
how much of that might be happening in the Russian-Ukrainian conflict? Like in the actual country of people saying like, "Oh, we're going to like go invade this country. It's going to be exciting." Our own people here did that in World War I and II.
Yeah.
It was like the cool thing to do.
I don't know about that
ship
exactly,
off.
but
it was like
I think it was the
well-documented cases of that.
Maybe a noble thing to do, stand up for your country.
World War I, nobody, just like I kind of see a parallel here, and again, I'm not perfectly educated on it, but I see a pretty big parallel here. I think Russia just thought they would roll in, and it would be barely a conflict at all,
It's hard
and
to
now
say.
it's been more than a month, and the whole world's kind of going, when is this going to end, and when are you going to stop this, and when is the suffering going to end?
For sure.
Because clearly it's not good.
All I can say is I know, just like any war or any conflict, it's not black and white. And we try and make it black and white, and then that's where a lot of interesting things happen. And so I just hope that here in Sudbury we can take the high road and not be subject to the same types of things that lead to the same type of conflict that is going on over there. I just hope for that.
No, absolutely not. Let's cool it off.
Exactly.
Let's relax. And maybe they're going to have another demonstration, another peaceful, interfaith prayer event or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we should be focusing on. So when people, mischief like this just distracts from what could be a very positive.
That's right. What I'd like to see is Russians and Ukrainians joining together and showing their support for agreement and to a safe and, a resolution to this conflict sooner than later. That's what I would like to see. So
yeah, if you're in Sudbury, that's what the takeaway from this.
For sure.
Let's just unite, come together.
Definitely.